back to another grilling video, and today we are making an amazing side dish. We're going to be making esquitos. Most people refer to them as elotes. It's essentially the grilled corn with crema and cheese and this delicious rich flavor. We're going to be doing it a fairly simple way. We want to eat it in a cup. That's when it gets to be esquitos as opposed to elotes. We're just going to take us a nice big pot. We're going to do this right on the grill. You can definitely grill your fresh corn. You can also just use store-bought frozen. It really works amazingly well. Let me talk about the ingredients. We'll zoom in, we'll show you how to do this one. It's a nice quick one, but absolutely delicious. And we'll show you how to kick it up a notch right at the end. All right, so we just need some whole kernel corn. I'm using 2 of these small bags from my local grocery store. When we do this with fresh corn, we'll usually use 8 to 10 ears of corn and then cut them off after they're grilled. I actually like eating them out of a cup with a spoon as opposed to trying to eat them with all the sauce slathered on them. They just feel messy to me. Corn, for sure. We're going to be using a little bit of queso fresco. Feel free to use whatever cheese you like, but we enjoy the queso fresco on it. Now we're going to be using some fresh Mexican crema. Crema is sort of the Mexican version of sour cream. If you can't find it in your store, no big deal. Use sour cream, squeeze a little bit of lime into it, and add in some mayonnaise. That's the difference, and it's about 3 to 1 on the sour cream versus mayonnaise if you're making your own crema. We're going to add just a little bit of mayonnaise. We're going to add the crema, and if you can find this stuff, go ahead and get it. It's called tajin. It's essentially a chili powder with lime in it, and it really, really has a nice flavor for putting right on the top of it before you serve it. Again, we'll talk in a few minutes on how we're going to kick this up even a little bit more. But if you can't find this, no big deal. Just use regular old chili powder that you have in your cupboard already, and squeeze a little extra lime in it. It gives it a very similar flavor for sure. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get our pan right on our smoker with some oil in it. We'll zoom in and show you how we do it. First thing we're going to do is crisp up this corn, get it nice and toasty, almost like a corn on the cob on a grill. All right, we've got our grill on, and I've got the grate open. Might not be able to see it from this angle, but I can see the fire down below there, and I've got it on a nice low temperature. Let's go ahead and put our pot right here onto the fire, and we're going to go ahead and oil this up. We want a bit of oil in here for sure. All right, let's go ahead and put in our corn. Now I'm putting these in frozen. The good news is corn does not take long to heat up, so just going to get that a nice even layer all the way down. I'm going to let that go for a little while. I'm going to close this up, just let them heat up. So while we're waiting on that corn to heat up, let's go ahead and get started with our crema and mayo here. Again, I like to use this Mexican crema. If you don't have it, a little bit of sour cream, mayo, and lime juice will absolutely do. We're going to put us about a half cup or so of crema in here. Into that, we'll add about a fourth of whatever we put in crema of mayo. I'm a preference here for whole mayo. Your call on that for sure. I'm not going to squeeze a fresh lime, but I have some of this key lime juice. I'm just going to use some of that in here. Probably about 2 teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon. And then we're going to put in some of this tajin. Not going to go crazy with it. I'm going to put just enough in here. Just want to go ahead and whip this together real nice. All right, we'll set this aside. That'll be ready in a few. And we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of our queso fresco here as well. I'm going to take about half of my queso fresco here. Just pop that out. Just going to go ahead and break this up right into our sauce here. Now, this is nice. This is a very this isn't a hardly formed cheese, so it actually breaks up really nice. So I'm cutting them into these little pieces like this, and then we can easily just break it right up into little bits, which will be great because that'll melt very nice in our actual corn. All right, let's go ahead and check on the corn. It's been on for about 3 to 5 minutes. Our corn is still just a little bit frozen, starting to thaw out real nice. We'll just mix it up. Let this keep going. We are a smoker channel, and if you watched last week's video, you saw us make some delicious burnt ends. We're going to break a few of these up. We're going to add it to the end. That is our kick up at the end of this thing. You will see how just amazingly delicious it is with some brisket burnt end shreds on top of these delicious elotes or esquitos. I'm doing these in this little bowl because I want to keep all of this amazing flavor right in there. But you can see they just fall right apart. By the way, I threw these on the grill for a few minutes just to heat them up from yesterday. That's what we're wanting to see right there. Look at that. Just using the tongs and just breaking them apart, not even cutting them. Probably better to do this with 2 forks. I just didn't bring a second fork, so I'm sitting here using the knife as a as a second pick or a fork. Oh man, that is going to be amazing. All right, these have been on now for about 10 minutes or so, and this is exactly what we want to see. We're starting to get a nice little bit of color in there. They're nice and warm. There we go. Because we started with frozen corn, I'm leaving the lid open. I got that heat on. I'm mixing it around frequently. I want to get the rest of that moisture that came out of the frozen corn out of it. Prep for that, though, I have my glass bowl with a little bit of my queso fresco crumbled up in the bottom. We'll put more on top of it as well. Now, I like to add my crema mixture with my tahini, a little bit of lime juice, right into the pan. I don't want to cook it in there. I just want to heat it up and circulate it all the way through there before we serve it into a bowl like this. I also went ahead and crumbled up some of that queso fresco right in this crema mixture. Let's pour this into the pan. All right, now I like to pour this right into my actual pan. Getting that queso fresco out of there as well. I'm going to save a little bit of that. We can always top these if we need to. Get that mixed in there real good. Oh, look at that. That looks phenomenal. Let's go ahead and pull this right off of here. Now this looks absolutely phenomenal. I've got my bowl right here. I'm just going to take some of this and I'm going to scoop it right on into our bowl with our queso fresco crumpled right up in there. I'm just going to use this fork that we mixed up our crema solution with. I'm just going to get that queso fresco mixed throughout here. I put it on the bottom so it would melt with all this hot corn going right into there. You definitely want to add just a little bit more of this tahini on the top of each of your servings. I think it makes an amazing flavor. I mentioned kicking this up a notch, didn't I? That is what the brisket's for. Just mix this right on through our elotes, or esquito to be a little bit more accurate. All right, let's serve some of this up. We'll give it a taste. Now let's go ahead and give this a shot. Add just a little bit of the tahini on top of the single serving. Some delicious parts of these burnt ends. Should have just heated them back up again. They've gotten a little cool just sitting out here. And that is good stuff there. With that, let's go ahead and dig in a bite of this, huh? Now you can add anything you like in this. Onions are phenomenal in this. The brisket is phenomenal in this. It's good just by itself. If you go to some of these street side vendors, one of the things they'll have is crumpled up Cheetos and they'll sprinkle those on there too. Sounds crazy, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Now, being from Texas, we would see this in a lot of the grocery stores and at flea markets and set out front. Like this was a very common dish, whereas a very heavy population of Mexican folks, and this is phenomenal. All right, bon appetit, folks. Man, the citrus and the lime, along with the sweetness of that crema, just phenomenal. The brisket, or burnt ends in this case, just makes it even that much better. Wow. Heck, this would be good with or without the brisket.
Hey, do me a favor. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, subscribe to the channel and click on that little bell notification so you get notified of new videos. Thanks.
Well, that's it, y'all. Safe and happy grilling. We'll see you next week for more grilling videos.